but
No.
you're saying it from
I think
what you've learned.
I think it's possible she broke up with him. I also think that Anele had been filming things between them. He had been filming things about her. You see my worst video is the one where he's talking and he's going, someone's under the influence, and he sounds under the influence. And that room is trashed. You've got all that glass and the mirrors, and you can see people have been using. First thing I see on that video, people are using.
Yeah, you would know.
I would know. That's a complete drug trashed up, alcohol, complete trashed up room.
Look at all of this. All of this. Look at all of this. Look at all of this. We got somebody here under the influence. Tried to jump off the balcony. My eardrums are ringing. I think I burst my eardrum. I have a witness that I did not fight back. And there is no fighting back from my side. This is how it looks. So when we go to court, this is what I want people to see.
She's sitting, rocking herself, going, I want my mother, I want my mother.
Oh, man.
It breaks so my heart, sad. That one. And he's just talking very dispassionately, filming her. Someone, like when I show them or whatever he says, someone's messed up the room, someone's under the influence. He says it himself, someone's under the influence.
Oh, man.
Those terrible, the door video is, they're only screenshots in the public, but I've seen that door video and it's hectic.
And then 2 years later, right, he passes away, or a couple of years later. What do you think happened there? Who do you think is responsible for AK's death?
Well, there's a court case, darling, and I don't think I'm going to be putting my head on the block for anything else. But in the book, I speak about people who might have. Obviously, on social media, the biggest suspect was Moses. I mean, that's what it all went. I don't think he did it, but I do think a lot of people had just went completely mad and said it was revenge. I believe that somewhere along the line, AKA was killed because of what happened to Anele. I don't think that they are separate, but I don't know who called for this. Then there was other stuff. So I personally think it looks like it's got to do with that. I don't have proof. There were other people AKA pissed off in his life. Let's be honest. Do you know of anyone who he upset? I'm sure you do.
No, I mean, I just know about former business partners.
Yeah.
I mean, business didn't work out.
Business
they went their separate ways. But I wouldn't now sit here and say,
no,
he's a suspect.
Yeah. No, there are people that are business partners. There are people that are upset. Would they be as upset to want to have a hit on him? Who knows? There was another interesting story, which kind of would almost make a brilliant movie, that women, like a GBV, very extreme group, got money together to pay Nkabi.
Women!
To take not only AK out, but Tibbs as well, because he was also like under suspicion in the Me Too movement. That's the story.
Nah, but I think that story doesn't make sense. And I'll tell you why, especially when you added Tibbs, because they met their
I know we have some chillers watching today, and I also know we have some Legacy fans watching today. But Mzansi, today we are gathered in this video to talk about Melinda Ferguson's controversial book, which Tony Forbes and Lynn Forbes have absolutely distanced themselves from, saying they did not authorize the book. They did not do any interviews about it. They declined actually an interview when they were asked to talk about it. And also Moses Tembes has also said he's distanced himself from the book. But Melinda reveals in this Chillers interview on over there by the podcast and Chill by McG, who wasn't there, but it was Sol Penduga and Ghost Lady over there in Cape Town. And Melinda revealed in this exclusive sit-down interview that I don't know why Moses is distancing himself, because I absolutely sat down with him and I certainly interviewed him. But let me know in the comment section, have you read the book? I haven't read the book, full disclosure, but based on this interview alone, I definitely want to read the book, especially the chapter on Moses Tembes. So why is Melissa Ferguson's book catching so much heat? By the way, the book title is When Love Kills. When Love Kills by Melinda Ferguson. She's not a stranger to writing books. She's written a book about Kelly Kumalo. She's written a book about herself with regards to her experience using is dagamizwa. Yeah, her personal experience, which kind of makes her an expert in reviewing some of the videos that Anele'S and AKA shared. She goes into so much detail in that interview. Let me tell you something. I do not watch a McG interview in one sitting, but I did with that one because it was so captivating and thought-provoking. So the questions that lie is, sadly, we all know, unfortunately, both AKA and NELITEMBE are both deceased right now, and both died in extremely tragic way. NELITEMBE is alleged committed she unalived herself, while others think she might have been pushed by her then fiance, AKA. And then people think that, and then we all know AKA lost his life very tragically last year in February while down in Durban celebrating his birthday, and he dropped to the ground after one shot was fired. And Nkabi literally did the job, which Nkabi, the case is now in court. They're currently still doing bail hearings. They will be returning in court sometime, I think very soon. They're about to return back in court, and we find out what's happening. There's the two that are in Eswatini for the extradition, and then there's the 5 that are sitting in the Durban over there court, haven't been released out on bail. But then there's also the mastermind. It's not clear who the mastermind is, but for now, the mastermind that has been named is one of the Gaba brothers. Listen, I'm not the one doing the naming here, so I'm just reporting it as it is. So one of the Gaba brothers allegedly paid out the 800,000 to accused number 5, I think it is. But I'll definitely do a recap in one of my next videos so that when they go back to trial, we're kind of up to speed on what is going on over there in the Durban courthouse. Now, back to Melinda Ferguson and her book and this interview with Sol Penduga. What was sad for me to see was that Podcast and Chill is very good with product placement. They did not place that book anywhere. She's literally just holding her book. She doesn't even show the cover. It's like, you know, she's received a lot of hate for the book. And I believe it's because for the Forbes, Tony Forbes and Lynn Forbes distanced themselves from the book. She said she won't be doing no country tours, no book tours, no book launches. She won't be doing any of that. It's really a silent book launch. I've also checked it out online. It's not there. It is, you know, absolutely sad. It reminds me of Jackie Pamodze and some of Jackie Pamodze's controversial books, The Hockey Club, and, you know, some of the things that she reveals in there. But why is Melinda Ferguson receiving so much heat for the book? Let me know in the comment section why you think so. So some people are saying, well, basically because Tony Forbes and Lynn Forbes, they're kind of the mom and dad of the legacy, okay? And they released a statement that said, listen, this is quite distasteful and opportunistic of you. Melinda responds in this interview and says, listen, do you guys even understand how many books are sold in South Africa? Like, it cannot be opportunistic if I'm not going to make a lot of money from it. So think about it. When was the last time you bought a book? Comment down below. Let me know in the comment section. Be honest. Let me know what book you last bought. Maybe when, if you remember, and the book title. Let me answer that myself. The last book I bought was a year ago. And it was the Thabo Bester book. Yeah, it was the Thabo Bester book. And you know what? Let me know in the comment section if you want me to read some of the chapters in the Thabo Bester book and give my review on that book. But I digress. Let's get back to this book. So, I mean, it's absolutely sad. There's a part in that interview where they show when Anele'S is rocking herself, okay? And she's saying, I want my mom. What is so sad about that is her mom was dead at the time. And the condition of that room, a completely trashed room. For me, that video was like, okay, so if this is my fiance and we've had whatever it is, a fight, a disagreement, whatever it is, I don't know what we're going to call it. And he pulls out a phone to record me and he's talking about being the third person, like he don't know me. Wow. But unfortunately, AKA is not alive to answer for himself, and neither is Anele'S to describe what actually happened that night. And all that is left is the NPA to piece the pieces together. and there's now an inquest to finally figure out. And I think, this is all about closure, but unfortunately, both of them have passed away. And now what is before the courts is who killed AKA and will they be sentenced? That is definitely already an interesting story in comparison with the Senzo Meyiwa trial. Tumelo, Longwe, some of the members of the police, the media, they all went on Netflix, okay? Let's just compare this for a second. Netflix, dollar signs, and selling a book locally in South Africa, $. Why did the Netflix series on Senzo Meyiwa, it's still even on Netflix, even to this day, it's still on Netflix. Did they get as much heat as Melinda Ferguson is getting? I don't think so. I don't remember there being that much heat. Women for Change SA did comment on Melinda's post announcing the book, and they say, "Thank you, Mel, for giving Nelly a voice she never had after the 11th of April 2021. Melinda also goes in to ask, Sol asked her, who do you think, unalived AKA? And she goes, listen, I am not going to be answering that question. This is already in the court. I'm not putting my head on the chopping block to guess that. But the biggest suspect on social media is Moses Tembe, that's Anele Tembe's father. And, he has obviously denied it and issued a press statement. There's a lot of press statements that keep going on. Everybody wants to put out a press statement. I'm always of the opinion, what would happen if nobody said anything? I don't know. But let me know in the comment section if you've watched this interview, your thoughts on it. Will you read the book? Have you read the book? And let's continue the conversation down below. But before we go, I want to bring this thought-provoking sentence that Melanie Ferguson said to Usol Penduga. She said, there were other people, AKA, pissed off in his life, okay? Can you think of some names other than Moses Tembe? But were these people upset enough? I don't want to name people because, but comes to mind, a couple of women come to mind, okay, and then former business partners as well. And then Melanie mentioned this, I think that was just way too off the mark, but she says a GBV extreme group that suddenly raised 800,000 rands and then hired an Inkabi. I don't know, that's quite off. But what's going to happen in the court? They're going to figure that out, put the pieces together for us, because guess what? The prosecutor actually hasn't revealed much in the case. And we're going to find that out as the witnesses come up. But Mzansi, your thoughts in the comment section down below. This is a tragic love story. Both AKA and Anele Tembe have passed away in extremely tragic manner, but the question remains, what happened to either one of them? It is unclear how their lives came to an end. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on our next upload.